Harmonious Current by Ian Walniuk. In the cavernous depths of the Harmonious, a river churns forward with the ferocity of a train, echoing and reverberating a sound so euphonious as to persuade the disdainful to shun their disdain. The far-fetched and fleeting sensations of glory sealed the fate of the mysterious shadows of darkness, yearning to bask in the light but collapsing into a quarry, comprehending their misfortunes in all of their starkness. Ages forgone lost their facade of prestige, their wounds once concealed became part of the known, and as time strangled those dreams which it had besieged, those old means of ambition it continued to condone. Basking in the shadows of the light that has faded, one half of the river will pursue the trajectory which it seeks, while the other half will declare itself jaded and refrain from voyaging toward the colossal mountain peaks. The exuberance of passion is undoubtedly a veneer, founded to conceal longings for conquest and dominion, but perhaps it still remains a course to which one must adhere, to avoid the inevitability of becoming life's minion. Perhaps the common men and women seize the crown, with prudence hovering atop the depths of impulsivity, liberated from the sea in which they would otherwise drown, and be indefinitely submerged in such furtive captivity. As for the vociferous waters and the lethargic current, they lack the resoluteness of the exuberant or the apathetic, and thus experience profound constriction concurrent with the eradication of the allure and the aesthetic. The enterprises of the decadent persist as a cause of intrigue, as they have acceded to the appetite of the villains within, squandering resources in their quest to enter a league of those oblivious to their own grave sins. Deep in the shadows of the shadowy, slippery depths lies one certainty which must not be misunderstood, for it is comprised of knowledge of the most remarkable breadth which has been forgotten by all of manhood. Each facet of experience has a remarkable constitution and serves as the backbone of the delectation of awareness. But if one travels sans clear means of execution, he will become submerged in pandemonium in its bareness. The river may wind and adhere to a sinuous course, impeding its harmony and its tranquility. But if it would only manifest itself as a consolidated force, it would work for itself and for all of its capability. No streetlight is necessarily most luminous or alluring. No avenue need be the best or worst. But a life well lived is one predicated upon ensuring that being on your own side should always come first. This is a list of poetic elements that I've added to my poem. So as you can see here, I have two listed examples of imagery, two listed examples of personification, three listed examples of metaphors, one listed example of hyperbole, and one listed example of repetition. Summative analysis. In the lyric poem Harmonious Current, I use imagery and a wide array of metaphors to express the idea that regardless of what course you take in life, you should always be yourself in the process and be satisfied with who you are and what you are doing. I begin this poem by describing a river that is at one with itself, quote, churning forward with the ferocity of a train, to introduce the idea that being at one with yourself leads to greater fulfillment and productivity. I use a questioning and somewhat inquisitive tone to illustrate my point, such as when I say, quote, perhaps the men and women seize the crown, unquote. The purpose of this is to provide my own analysis of the concepts I am discussing so that the reader can form his own conclusions. Throughout the poem, I provide several metaphors designed to support my conclusion, such as, quote, the enterprises of the decadent persist as a cause of intrigue as they have acceded to the appetite of the villains within, unquote, where, quote, the villains within, unquote, represents the lust for wealth and prestige that can be found within all of us. I use this metaphor to imply that the blind pursuit of wealth in the name of fear and insecurity is deeply problematic, as it is emblematic of an inability to be at ease with oneself. I shift from primarily speaking in an inquisitive and metaphorical tone and toward a very direct tone in the last stanza, wherein I say, quote, "A life well lived is one predicated upon ensuring that being on your own side should always come first," unquote.